Christchurch earthquakes. I don't know how much you've talked about those, if at all.
I don't think we have.
No, we haven't even mentioned.
When are they? 2013.
First one was September 2011, and then I think the big one February 2012.
Oh wow!
They had another big one just like last week. I think.
Yeah, just recently.
Yikes.
Like, scary stuff. And I'm going down there the coming weekend.
Oh,
I'm going
man.
down there, so
Good luck, man.
yeah, it's scary, huh? I gotta stop going down to Christchurch.
So
Anyway,
earthquakes happened.
yeah, and so we were in the office, and we were right in town, like where most typical game company offices are, right in the center of town. And yeah, like it came on as like another aftershock, like any other aftershock. And you know, at this point we were like loving them, right? The aftershocks were like fun parties, like yeah, another aftershock. The whole office would like rock around.
Because they're so frequent. It was just
so
you were used.
frequent.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the September quake had been nothing. You know, there were no fatalities. It was like way in the middle of a farm somewhere, and it was like a real sort of rolling earthquake. And
I think at the time, wasn't there like earthquakes in South America? Or there was another massive earthquake that
Was it
happened. at the same-
Haiti?
I think Haiti might have been at the
recent?
same time.
Yeah.
There was one
At
in
that time?
Japan.
Japan happened
like
a
3
couple
weeks after.
weeks, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The massive tsunami that took out the.
Fukushima.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
power
right.
plant.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
So it's all like connected, right? You know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's all that same like Pacific
Fault
plate.
plate.
isn't
Tectonics.
it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Pacific plate. So anyway, yeah, scariest day of my life. Thought I was gonna die and stuff like that. One of
did
the offices in, like on our floor, one of the rooms, the floor actually fell away
Whoa.
entirely. And
Did-
fortunately, no one was in there. But they had a meeting like literally 2 minutes before, and the whole room was full.
Sheesh.
And it was just like luck at the stars or something. And yeah, like the staircase was all wrecked, and like we were trying to get out, and everyone's just panicking, and we all like went to the square in the city, and we saw like the main cathedral there had just like been destroyed, and this was
Wow.
like the icon of Christchurch, you know, this like huge cathedral, and it was just like such a sad day. But I won't get too much into that on the stream. Anyway, went back to my house, and it had fallen over. Jeez. Everything I had owned and stuff was just like sitting in this pile of rubble, including my lovely Honda Civic, which was now as flat as a pancake.
Wow.
It was about 2 inches thick.
Oh my god.
And there was a few tears shed that day. Lots of drinking was done. Lots of the
The booze was
bosses-
miraculously fine.
Yeah.
It's actually funny. We went to the boss's house because he lived close by to where we were, and he was still at the office in town. And we actually each stole $50 from his wallet because we were like, this is like apocalyptic times, man. We need to survive.
The
So
looting
we-
has started.
But we started. We never told him this, but we,
Well, now you
we
know.
each looted $50 from his wallet. It was fantastic.
You won't.
Well, I guess like that's only fair because like I bet the ATMs were not working and banks
nothing.
were probably closed. And
So yeah, like
or
the
flattened.
Southend network wasn't working.
Yeah.
The ATM's not working. Like your card was worth nothing anymore.
Yeah.
It was like cash only. Like I had no house to live in, like a lot of other people. But if you did have a house to live in, the water wasn't running
Oh,
and the electricity wasn't going.
Yeah.
So you couldn't turn on the news and see what's happening. You couldn't like, wash your hands. You know, you need to take a dumper. Like, what do you do after that? It got messy.
some leaves, I guess.
It was like within that 15 seconds of that quake, we got put back into the Stone Age. You know, like nothing mattered. The internet didn't matter. Games didn't matter. Nothing mattered anymore. It was like now we've got to like bathe in the river and like grow our own potatoes,
Yeah.
man.
So how did? So your house was flattened. How did you like eat, and where did you stay for like the next few days?
So they had this like huge emergency like camp in this park that they'd set up, and we all went there, and we actually found a couple of other guys we worked with, and their house wasn't so bad off.
Oh, yeah.
And the good dudes let us like stay with them for the next couple of weeks.
You'd be a jerk if you didn't let
Yeah.
anybody stay at your
Yeah.
house, right?
Nah,
So-
I've got a spare bed, but
Yeah,
nah.
I got my own generator.
I like to keep stuff on that bed. So I don't want to move my stuff. It's a lot of
So-
work.
Yeah, we all crashed there, and we'd go to the river and collect water in pots.
Wow.
And like light fires to like boil it and
Yep.
stuff like that to have drinking water.
That's amazing.
And my undies went every which way. I had inside, backwards,
Yeah.
upside down, left, right.
See? Never have to wash them.
Doing the neck.
Because I had the one pair of undies, the one shirt I was wearing that
Yeah, it's
day.
just
the
what
one
you're
pair of
wearing that
shorts.
day, right?
It was
Yeah.
like The Walking Dead. The clothes that happened
Oh,
when the
man.
apocalypse started and all the zombies started coming. It was all I had
Wow.
to wear. It was
Did
crazy.
you forage for food? You had to like sharpen a stick.
Yeah.
Fortunately, we had
What was
the
it like the
stolen
first time you
cash
killed
and like
someone?
Oh yeah, you had $50
How did you
cash.
decide who to eat first?
Yeah.
yeah. So what a time! Wow.
I think, weren't you telling me earlier because your guys' house was like cordoned off, like you couldn't enter it after like, the rescue services or whatever came in.
Yeah.
But weren't you saying one of your flatmates or you as well, like snuck in there to grab some stuff and then...
Yeah. So the army had cordoned off the whole central city because it was too dangerous, right? Because of all the falling or potentially falling buildings.
They had like red zones.
And they had all the tanks, blocking all the main roads and soldiers patrolling these temporary fences they'd set up. And two of the guys me and Blake studied with, maybe I shouldn't put any names on here. We're having a few drinks at this party and they were like, screw it. We're going to get our stuff. And they like snuck past the army soldiers, past the tanks, over the fences, went into this like crumble down house that was like half fallen over like a pack of cards. And got all their things, grabbed their PlayStations, their TVs, their games, like,
Nice.
all their hard drives, all the important stuff.
Stuff worth risking your life for.
Stuff worth risking your life for. And like, got out. And yeah.
Weren't you saying that like a few days later the house fully collapsed as well?
Yeah. 2 days later, the house fully collapsed. Like, because it was sort of like, it went straight up and down. I know the people listening can't hear this.
Yeah,
Vertical.
Can't see the visuals.
Yeah.
It's
I'll
a building.
describe.
Yeah,
He's
it's
holding his hands vertically.
Most people will.
But yeah, it was on the bottom level was all garages. So all that was holding it up was like the vertical walls of each of the garages. So it literally fell over sideways like a pack of cards. And it went on like a 45-degree angle and sat like that for a number of months. And then, 2 days later after they went in and got their stuff, it just completely fell down like dead flat.
So it was like actually dangerous to go in there. It wasn't just...
There was a reason
They
for
weren't
it.
fucking around.
Those
yeah.
were load-bearing games. If they had just left them in there, they would have been fine.
Gears of War was holding up this whole building.
I was in the L.A. earthquakes in 1994, and my earthquake story is that I slept through it.
Oh,
I woke up and my mom woke us up and took us outside, and I remember walking through the hallway with like all of the cupboard stuff, everything's all over the floor. I'm like, Mom, are you cleaning? It's like 3 a.m. And the first thing I thought, she must be cleaning, because this is what happens when she cleans, is stuff goes everywhere. And then I slept outside that night.
God. There was an earthquake maybe 10, 13 years ago in Auckland, close to Auckland.
No way.
And it was like, I was up at the time, it was like maybe 10 o'clock at night. And it I don't know if you know the sensation of like a huge truck going past your house, and you can kind of feel like the vibration. It was like that. And I grew up in the country, so I was used to large trucks going by, and I was just like, oh, a big truck went by. And I was like, wait a minute. This is like Auckland Central. There's no giant cattle trucks going by. And then the next day on the news, it turned out there was an earthquake, like reasonably kind of, like a very small one, but reasonably close to Auckland.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy. You should come down to Christchurch.
So many cattle trucks going by in Christchurch.
After that recent quake, which is the third biggest one in the series,
Whoa.
the whole set of aftershocks has started up again.
Oh, no.
Severn knows what I'm talking about.
aftershocks.
You felt some of them when you came down?
Oh yeah,
The first time?
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it was weird because it was new to us, and we were really surprised, and you guys were just like, it was just a normal thing.
Yeah.
Do you get to the point where you don't notice them? Or do you...
Oh, you always notice them.
Yeah.
But, like, you don't panic or get scared or, like, run for the table or anything.
You kind of
like
learn which ones are ones you should worry about.
Wow.
that. Yeah.
It's kind of weird. It's like that thing where you feel an earthquake, but you don't know whether to fully panic or
Oh,
do you know
right.
what
Yeah,
I mean?
there's a moment of like, do I move? Do I go outside?
Yeah.
This one's fine. It's over.
Well, you were saying too, when that big one hit, you were in the office and you were used to the aftershocks, and it was just like aftershock party. How
Yeah.
long into that earthquake did you realize, oh, this is
Bad
a little
party.
more serious? Yeah, this is bad.
bullet
This
party.
gone bad.
So it would have been like maybe 4 or 5 seconds in
Oh yeah.
when my monitor decided to jump about 2 feet in the air
Oh.
off my desk that I was like, well, maybe this is a bit more than
Yeah.
your typical aftershock. And then just the whole world just became this just big dust cloud because everything just launched in the air. Everyone hit the ground because you couldn't stand.
Oh yeah.
Couldn't
Wow.
sit. Like all our computer chairs just got whipped up underneath us and flew away.
Needed those clapping chairs to just go back.
Yeah.
Sit back in there.
All I
Yeah.
can remember
Important.
thinking is get under the disc, get under the disc. Like, wow, wow, wow. And then I was like thinking about all the people I loved and who's going to
Oh,
miss
man.
me and
Oh,
stuff
my
like
God.
that. And I was like, this could be like my last thoughts on this
Yeah.
earth, you know? I was like, whoa, it's like freaky. And then after that, I was like, man, I got to put my shoes on. So I started putting my shoes
Yeah.
on because I was like, if I do survive, I'm going to need to run out of here real
Yeah.
fast.
Yeah, broken glass everywhere as well.
Mm.
After
Crazy.
the earthquake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
It's intense.
Yeah.
experience I'll never forget. That's for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.